Peace. What's up, y'all? This is Phil James. Today is Tuesday, June 19th, 2018, and we have so much crazy shit taking place right now. I will connect some dots at the end of this. As you can see here at the top, I have a banging video uploading for you right now, and it's very relevant to this topic right here, and I might even include it in this video also and then upload this. But we have crazy shit taking place. Flooding all over the northern states, up around the Great Lakes, Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota. There's dams breaking. There is a dam in Reno that I mentioned a while back with all that rainfall that they had a flash flood warning in effect for, and it's been in effect for a minute now, and it's because there was dam damage. Now, this is another dam that collapsed. What is happening? But let's watch.
Flooding in Minnesota and Wisconsin turning deadly. The high sweeping waters not only leaving people stranded in cabin country, but also claiming the life of at least one person.
Paul Bloom is joining us live from one of the hardest hit areas near Danbury, Wisconsin. Paul, a lot of damage where you are tonight, even a warning that a nearby dam apparently burst.
Jeff, some big-time worries here in Danbury, Wisconsin. Now, some people will know Danbury as it is home to the St. Croix Casino. Let me show you the St. Croix River, though. It is rising quickly, and the concern is up this way. There's some low-lying homes over on this side. People are worried about if that water comes up any higher tonight, homes could be in peril. And as you mentioned, a nearby dam on the Tamarack River. It's believed it was breached this afternoon. There are flash flood warnings across this region, and as you look up here, you do have some gawkers. Nobody taking any chances here after Mother Nature dropped more than 8 inches of rain across northwestern Wisconsin. The St. Croix River along the Minnesota-Wisconsin border rising fast all afternoon. Motorists appear to be racing to beat the next road closure as storm drains here reach capacity.
How hard is it for you to get around today?
If you want to get to Wisconsin, it's almost going to be impossible here pretty soon.
West State Highway 35 flooded out to the north. The town of Danbury became difficult to access. In fact, several employees at the popular log cabin store and eatery couldn't even get into work on Monday.
It's as bad as I've seen. I think it's the worst I've ever seen.
Mary and Greg Wade have owned the business 40 years now. They reported close to an unbelievable foot of rain in their home gauge since Friday.
We live in sand country, so a lot of that water does absorb, but it just came down too hard, too fast, and couldn't handle all that. He's gonna drown!
Check out this cell phone video captured by a teenager just outside Danbury this morning. That's a bear apparently struggling in the swollen river.
Those bears are really strong swimmers, even if they're real small. But I somewhere down deep inside me, I think it made it, because after that tree, it was kind of took a little break in the current there. But I think it made it.
Well, we don't know what happened to that bear. There were even bigger concerns about where all this rain and floodwater is headed, with authorities keeping a close watch on bridges and dams across northwestern Wisconsin. At about 1:30 Monday afternoon, the National Weather Service put out a bulletin advising that a dam on the Tamarack River was likely breached in the flooding. Among the areas it advised people to stay away from, the small community of Markville. This is Markville Road. This is what it looks like. We will go no further.
Well, if that lake dam goes, it's a decent-sized lake, so who knows what's safe down here at the end, down below it.
Thanks.
And back out here live looking at the St. Croix River, clearly above its natural banks. Again, observations will continue here throughout Wisconsin, also across the St. Croix, the other side of the river over in Pine County, Minnesota. As for that one fatality, there was an elderly man. He was inside his pickup truck, and he got swept away in the floodwaters that was way up in northern Wisconsin in Ashland County. We're live in Danbury, Wisconsin tonight. Paul Bloom, Fox 9.
Sun River expected to overtake Highway 200. Augusta flooding. Now this is more flooding, and it's not Minnesota, it's not Wisconsin, it's not Illinois, it's not Indiana. This is Montana. So as you can see, the floodwater is overtaking Highway 200. Oh man, we're having so much rain, so much flooding. I've never seen so much rain and flooding in my life. And I'm not joking. Like, it's no exaggeration. So here's a video, let's watch it. Okay, nothing special, just showing the water. As you can tell, there's flooding all over the place. Lincoln County, like I said, this is Montana, so Montana's flooded, you know. Once again, Reno, that dam, has issues right now. So they said the flood warning is not as high, but there's still dam damages. So as you can see here at the top, not just heat, climate change signs can be seen all around. Yes, that is very accurate. Now, this is showing that pollen is extremely high. In this August 14th, 2001 photo, Loretta McCongie points to pollen on ragweed plant in Newark, New Jersey. Allergies have gotten worse with longer season and more potent pollen. Now, also, allergies have gotten much worse due to vaccines and, you know, aerosols being sprayed above us. Just wanted to make sure that was also included. High ragweed pollen days have increased between 15 and 29 days in 2018 since 1990 in a swath of the country from Oklahoma City to North Winnipeg, Canada, according to the U.S. to a U.S. Department of Agriculture study. Alright, now that's the flooding in Ellicott City, I do believe. This Monday, May 28, 2018 photo was made from video provided by Drone Base. Shows vehicles swept by floodwater near the intersection of Ellicott Mills Drive and Main Street in Ellicott City, Maryland. Howard County, the historic Maryland community, has been struck by severe flooding twice in less than 2 years. Now, the thing is, they called these floods a once-in-a-thousand-year flood, and 2 of them have happened in less than 2 years. So, climate change is clearly happening. In this Friday, March 30th, 2018 photo, people sit in a flooded St. Mark's Square in Venice, Italy, as high tides, don't know that word, but high tides spread all through the city. Crust globe seas risen about 30. Okay. So then you look down here. This image was made available by NOAA and NASA. GOES project shows tropical weather systems. Hurricane Norma left on the Pacific Ocean side of the Mexico Jose Center, East Florida. Tropical depression 15, second from the right, north of South America, and Tropical Storm Lee north of East Brazil. September 16th, 2017. During the past 30 years since 1988, there have been more major hurricanes, those with winds of more than 110 miles per hour on average. They've lasted longer and produced more energy than the previous 30 years, according to Associated Press analysis of storm data. Now, also, with that, we've had many, many more major hurricanes than normal. We've had a lot more, and now they're claiming that the Earth itself, if you're a glober, is spinning slower at the equator, and that the equator is shrinking. I have read both. Don't believe me? I should go find the articles. So if you don't believe it, make sure you leave it in the comments. I'll go find the articles for you. But they claim by the Earth spinning slower, and by the equator shrinking, and by the seafloor lowering, and sea levels rising all at the same time, hurricanes are slowing down, not spin wise but movement wise. And that then, of course, you know what they use as the example, we all do, Harvey. Now why? Well, because Harvey parked itself right there above the Gulf, sat there, got really, really strong with all that warm water, and then went over, you know, whatchamacallit, right over there, over Texas, you know, right over there at Galveston and all that, and slammed it. And then it stayed right there, you know. It was moving 2 miles per hour. You can watch my old Harvey video coverage and see that I even mention it's moving 2 miles per hour. And it sits there above the warm water in the Gulf for days. And then we got to remember NASA test fires their SLS RS-25 Mars rocket, and then all that wet surface air cooler condensation met up with Harvey, dumped 70 inches of rain on Texas, right? We remember? So clearly it's a much bigger issue. Climate change is everywhere, and it's so obvious at this point. I'm not going to read any more of this, but I will show this because this is a great picture. Now, what's that look like to you? Because this truck is engulfed in flames, but yet the tree right there is fine. At least it looks like it. My phone's like really low on battery, so it's kind of low, the brightness. But we've had problems with dew weapons here recently, if you guys recall, right? Yeah, that was California wildfires. Yeah, so basically though, the point is, it's getting ridiculous. Everything is unbelievable. The flooding, the severe weather, it's all insane right now, and there's no sign of it slowing down. All right, you guys already knew I was going to be covering this. I got to throw this in the midst because I cover the Pacific Ring of Fire. I cover the earthquakes. We still have Kilauea. It's erupting still. It's still smoldering. It's still spewing lava, you know. But a lot of it's dumping in the ocean at this point, creating smoke and steam plumes and all kinds of craziness. So the USGS is withholding information from what I understand. And they're actually pretty concerned about the whole Helena slump, which is when the side of the island breaks off due to magma chambers being empty and all the weight of the land just being too much, and then it breaks off and causes a major tsunami. The USGS seems to be majorly concerned from what I understand. The sources I'm using, who knows? But from what I understand, it seems that they are not sharing everything. So yesterday, in the past 24 hours, I checked earthquakes worldwide. We are at 345 earthquakes in 24 hours yesterday when I checked. If I remember, I will throw it in this video. Now, there's this other channel. What's her name? Extreme Reality Check is her website, and it's called like The Supernatural God Is Not Dead. That channel. I don't agree with probably even 50%, maybe 45, 50% I agree with, you know, or can relate to. But, you know, we all know, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? So she covers a lot of stuff, and I do enjoy it. You know, I watch her videos, very good quality. They're very long, so if you're going to watch one, you better be ready. But very informative. So I'm a fan. So I watch it. I just don't follow the Q post things. I think that's a bread trail of bullshit. Yes, is it accurate? Yes, does it end up being right? Yeah, sometimes. But the point is, if they were leaving a bread trail to keep you occupied, of course they would let you lead you on and make you feel like you're accurate or following these hints correctly. You know what I mean? They'd want you to continue. So anyways, 6.1 quake in Japan. Yes, and it's a major big deal because that's Pacific Ring of Fire. Now look at that. More sinkholes, more crazy shit, more earthquakes, more insanity for the world to see. I'm happy I saw this article because I would have forgotten, and I would have been pissed if I did not cover this. This is Pacific Ring of Fire. Now, when looking at the USGS website, if you try to find the total number of earthquakes this year, they won't give it to you. They withhold the information because it's an outrageous number, okay? Remember, we have had 10,000 separate earthquakes in Hawaii in 30 days this year. Yes, it's because of the volcano, but it's not the point. The point is that still so much activity and it's still registering. Now, also, the USGS website, when I was looking at it, I couldn't see anything, I don't think, below a 4.0. So, everything above 4.0, we were looking, it was at what? I think it was 6,000, 7,000, maybe 8,000 earthquakes so far. Well, that Supernatural God Is Not Dead channel, she somehow found the data for how many earthquakes have been felt this year. And from her number, I do believe she claims 52,000. Yes, 52,000. That's even in the title. So I do believe that is this year. Now, earthquakes, are they on the rise? I would say so. Severe flooding, severe storms, severe volcano eruptions, are they on the rise? I would say so. Now, hold on one. All right, so we just covered the newest earthquake in Japan, which is Pacific Ring of Fire. We've covered some of the flooding, but I intend on touching up on that here in a second. Earthquake and aftershock shake parts of central Oklahoma. That was on June 15th this year, obviously, and USGS says a 4.0 earthquake has shaken parts of central Oklahoma. No immediate reports of damage. All right, so yeah, see what I'm saying here, guys? Earthquakes, diverse locations. All right, so tropical storm Carlotta formed off the coast of Acapulco. Now, I don't think this is too major, but if you look at this picture, I like this because it looks like clear manipulated clouds right there at the top. Microwave manipulation to me. But, you know, this is just another tropical storm that is named. So what are we at now? Here, actually, let me go ahead and check. Let me just see what we're looking at, because I do have... All right. Just to see. So here's what we're looking at right now. That was... That was the newest hurricane that just happened, the bigger one, Alberto, right there, that path. Now, storm names. So here's what we've had so far. Alberto, Beryl. Beryl has formed, okay? So we've had Alberto and Beryl on the Atlantic side. Now, the Pacific side, we've also had a couple others. So yeah, we've already used at least 2 or 3 of these names. Just saying. But I want to go ahead and just throw this in there right quick. There we go. Bud. That was the third name I was looking for. Monsoon begins with a bang thanks to Bud. Posted June 16th. Tucson, after 105 days without measurable rain at Tucson International Airport, the remnants of Hurricane Bud delivered rain to the area. All right. The dry streak officially ended. So, yeah, I just wanted to go ahead and show that that was another named hurricane. So, Bud, Beryl, and Alberto. And now we're looking at Carlotta. So, 4 right now. So, yeah, we're looking at some craziness, guys. So, earthquake of magnitude 5.5 strikes off of Wallace in Futuna, USGS. Singapore, an earthquake of 5.5 struck off the coast of Segave in the French territory of Wallace and Futuna in the Pacific Ocean, the USGS said Saturday. So, there's another one. You see what I'm saying, guys? This is why I'm covering. Just real quick, California is on fire again. Here are the 2018 fires happening right now. Oops! Content removed. Sounds like some do action to me. Just saying. Not going to read this, but just want to go ahead and show that there was another mild earthquake. The 17th of a 3.2, and this was just right there in China. So, pretty close to the Ring of Fire. Not exact. But to me, it seems like the Ring of Fire and all the stress Kilauea is causing is going out to the Ring of Fire, causing stress in Japan and over here in Cali, because there's earthquakes daily in Cali. And then I feel that the Ring of Fire is putting stress further in towards Yellowstone. And that's why the steamboat geyser has erupted 6 times this year. That's why, the caldera of Yellowstone, if this page will go back. Here. Alright, hold on. And this is what I'm talking about. Experts, Yellowstone caldera hotter than thought. Now, to me, if all of this is suddenly happening, and everything's going down the way it is, I feel that this is being stressed by the Ring of Fire and all the action taking place in and around the Ring of Fire. So, clearly the caldera is much hotter than they claimed. The steamboat geyser is going absolutely insane compared to normal. So, clearly there's something taking place. Whether it's movement, whether it's heat, whether it's magma, whether it's about to be lava because it's about to explode out at the surface. Who knows? But something's going on. So when talking about all the crazy weather, you got to bring up all the crazy weather. So look at this. Incredible images show nuclear tornado in Wyoming. Now, it's been strange. Wyoming, Colorado, and all those states way west have been getting smashed by tornadoes. Oklahoma is an obvious, they're in the tornado belt. You know what I mean? The Midwest is tornado bait. Like, it's all over. But these states are getting pushed further west. I mean, I guess they're still flat, so it's not that crazy. It's just the sheer number of earthquakes, volcanoes, crazy effing tornadoes, which are big. This is being called a nuclear tornado. Look at that shit. It looks like a massive mushroom cloud, and happened in Wyoming. And yeah, it was pretty big. A lot of storm chasers said they have never seen anything quite like it, hence the name nuclear tornado. So there you go. He said, a veteran storm chaser, Greg, said it was the most dramatic tornado he'd ever seen. Which clearly, yes, that looks very dramatic. Look at that. That is quite gnarly to me. So, I just wanted to show it because it looks like a massive mushroom cloud. And these tornadoes have just been ripping apart the U.S. So, yeah, just keep your eyes on all of it. So now in this video, we've covered earthquakes in Japan, China, Oklahoma, California, and multiple late-night earthquakes shake western North Carolina. This is all within this month. So, June 11th, 2 earthquakes shook part of western North Carolina on Sunday and Monday, 2.7, and then a 2.0, and then yeah. So, you know what I mean? No real damages, but it's the point, once again, that it's earthquakes in diverse locations all over the place, taking place all the time. All right, so you see what I mean here? Just a lot of stuff taking place right now. June 9th, brief 4.5 magnitude earthquake shakes Wichita. So, once again, there's more for you. You see what I mean? This is from the 9th. More earthquakes in diverse locations. Alright, so just because, I'm going to go ahead and use military pictures right now just to show what they're claiming is happening in Hawaii. I personally believe that there is an event taking place. Like I've said, I don't believe it's as scattered and widespread, but I feel that there is a lot of lava and a lot of shit happening down there. So I'm going to go ahead and show some pictures. like I said, guys, we have to remember the Helena slump is still a very, very real possibility because the sheer weight of the land breaks from itself and falls into the ocean. Now, by doing that, this is where it would happen, somewhere over here in this picture you see, because all this magma is coming out of the ground, right? And by doing that, it's leaving the ground hollow, and the weight, like I said, just breaks off and can cause some major devastation, major tsunamis. So here you can see the black, you know what I mean? Could that be CGI? Possibly, who knows? But I just want to show it, you know what I mean? You have any CGI experts out there? Tell us. Have any of these photos been tampered with? That'll clear it up real quick. But make sure you have credentials if you're going to say it, you know what I mean? I just don't know. Here's just more photos of the lava running into the ocean, you know what I mean? It's quite intense. I mean, we got fog all over the place. It's a hazard to breathe. I mean, they plan on spraying more of the same shit, but whatever. You know, a lot of sinkhole type ordeals happening. A lot of fissures, a lot of cracks, a lot of hot lava. It's already hot out, so then you have this heat from this lava also, just to add to it. See, like this picture, I don't trust that. I don't know about that. But like when you can see it, that picture, it looks slightly edited possibly. But you know what I mean? Either way, a lot of people are still being displaced. There are FEMA barges down in Hawaii right now, from what I understand and what I've read. There is FEMA. It's a state of emergency. We've had like 5.5, maybe even 6 weeks now of a constant eruption. That was one of the very first video footage that came out, and that was from the guy there. Also this. You see what I mean? There's quite a bit of stuff. I mean, you know, can we say for absolute certain this is as big and widespread as they claim? No, not until somebody from there contacts me and gives me the scoop, or until I go there. You know what I mean? But from what I've seen and from what witnesses I am using there, it seems pretty legit that there is a volcano eruption, there are earthquakes taking place, and the Helena slump could possibly go down at any point in time. And the USGS seems to be semi-concerned, and they're withholding earthquake data.
A 5.8 magnitude earthquake, the most powerful earthquake in Korea's recorded history, occurred in Gyeongju on September 12th. And on September 19th, only a week after a strong earthquake, a magnitude 4.5 earthquake struck.
Just so everybody is on the same page, this was an older event, as you saw September of last year. But the problem is, since they've had, they had 430 seismic events, aftershocks, timblers, after. So I wanted to go ahead and show it. But there is something else in here I did like, so I'm going to go ahead and keep playing it for a minute.
Korea Meteorological Administration has predicted that aftershocks with a magnitude of 3 to 4 will likely to continue in Gyeongsang-gu province, which has deepened the public concern.
Aftershocks might continue for several months, rising concerns over further damages. They've had 430.
The strong earthquake has shown that Korea is no longer in this safe zone. Earthquakes over magnitude 5.0 have hit Korea several times, including the one that has recently shaken the city of Gyeongju. A lot of people have raised their voices over the need to strengthen disaster management capability. Concerns have also risen over the possible damage to the nuclear power plants. Strengthened preventive measures are necessary, as Korea is now no longer safe from earthquakes.
How are you now no longer safe from earthquakes? Because obviously, just in my mind, if you live on Earth, there's nowhere you wouldn't be safe from an earthquake. Because plate tectonics, let's just assume that everything is absolute fact, not that I believe differently, but if you do, plate tectonics could be bound to be put under stress at any given point in time, correct? The Earth could wobble to and fro at any given time, correct?
An in-depth look at Korea's disaster management system and discuss ways to better prepare for potential earthquakes.
So check this out. This is just nuts. Nuts. You guys remember, real quickly, I'm not sure anything about soccer, anything about football, but I do know there was an ISIS threat or video made about the World Cup. You guys remember the video I made about Texas and saying that if that false flag event would have taken place, they should have hit a sporting event, because that would have been like a poke in the eye or a kick in the balls to every sleeping person, you know what I mean, by false flag attacking the sports they love so much. You see what I'm saying? So then World Cup. Soccer is the biggest sport in the world, or football, to everybody else in the world. It's only us Americans that call it soccer, you know what I mean? So it's the biggest sport in the world. By the powerful elite targeting such an event, that would be like a poke in the eye to the entire world of sleeping mass is. You see what I mean? But check this out regardless, because I think it already went down, obviously, why this seismologist explains how World Cup fans triggered an earthquake detector in Mexico. So obviously it already happened, but let's watch.
In Mexico's World Cup opener, they beat Germany 1-0. It was a huge upset. Mexico's never won a World Cup. Germany is the defending champion. So naturally, when Mexico scored that one goal, fans went wild. This was the reaction in Russia, where the World Cup is being held. And the reaction was even bigger in Mexico. The fans' reaction was so intense, they set off at least 2 nearby seismic detectors. Researchers called it an artificial earthquake. This isn't the first time people have set off seismic detectors. In 2011, Seattle Seahawks running back Marshawn Lynch made an epic 67-yard touchdown run, and fans inside the stadium went so crazy that they wound up triggering local seismometers. And it's not just sporting events either. In 2016, seismic detectors picked up on a Bruce Springsteen concert in Barcelona. So we talked to seismologist Lucy Jones to find out what fans have to do with seismic activity. From a
We humans are so stupid. But at the same time, whatever, you know, I get excited for certain stuff, and you best believe that if it was something I was passionate about, I could, you know, if it was something I was passionate about with a bunch of like-minded individuals, I think we could cause an artificial earthquake if the need arose for something major. You know what I mean? Like if we were boycotting something, like, or marching on Washington, and we caused an artificial earthquake, I'd be all for that. You know, it'd be a meaningful purpose. But it just seems so ridiculous that a bunch of people with their fat asses painted and shit, you know, jumping up and down, causing artificial earthquakes because of a sporting event, a bunch of men kicking balls, you know what I mean? So it just seems so ridiculous, you know. I'm sorry, but don't take offense. It's just the way it is, you know.
seismological standpoint, what happened yesterday in Mexico?
A lot of people jumped up and down, and just like I'm hitting this table and making it vibrate, all those people jumping on the ground made it vibrate, and since they probably got into a rhythm together, and therefore you get summing, and they got bigger pulses because of that, and once you're making the ground vibrate, that's going to make the adjoining pieces of ground vibrate, and it traveled out, and it was a big enough vibration to travel out to the seismometers and still be visible where those seismometers were.
So thinking of that, if a bunch of Mexican soccer-loving fans can sit there in a rhythm and jump up and down in Mexico and trigger Richter scales and seismographs, it makes you feel that the world we live on is much, much smaller than, what you would naturally assume. Think about this. Now, when I was still a globe earther, yes, I used to believe a lot of the shit that was said. So, like, they claim that big-ass earthquake in Japan, that real big one when the tsunami happened, they claim that thing was so dramatic it actually tilted the Earth's axis, which I believed it when I was a globe earther. I was like, holy shit, it made me feel the Earth was very small. Also, another thing like that, they claim that the Hoover Dam in Lake Mead is so big and that the concrete from the Hoover Dam weighs so much that it actually tilted the Earth's axis by a little bit more. You see what I mean? Just the sheer amount of weight from the Hoover Dam tilted the Earth's axis, they claimed. So I used to believe that shit when I was a glober, but I don't know about now, you know what I mean? But either way, artificial earthquake because of humans jumping up and down, it makes me feel that we're a lot smaller than we think, but I don't know. It's a weird thing, it's just, I don't feel that you could do that on a globe, you know what I mean? I don't know. I could be wrong. A globe floating in space would just kind of vibrate. I don't know. I don't know. Who knows? You can't simulate that in a lab. You can't do a science experiment on that. But it's just crazy to think about that a bunch of humans could trigger that.
This isn't an earthquake.
So this is not an earthquake. To me, an earthquake is the slip on a fault that produces shaking as one of its effects, along with motion on the fault and other things. If you want to say an earthquake is the shaking of the ground, well, yes, this was shaking the ground, but it wasn't a natural source. So we usually use the word earthquake for the natural sources and cultural noise for the human sources.
How common is it for a seismometer to be triggered by something that's not an official earthquake?
Seismometers are triggered all the time by a wide variety of ground motions, and we spend a lot of time developing filters to pick out the earthquakes from all of the noise. So we refer to cultural noise, which is ground moving from cars going by, trains going by, sonic booms, all the things that people do that can set the ground moving.
So as you mentioned, cheering fans aren't the only thing that can trigger this kind of thing. I know that space shuttle reentry has been linked to sort of similar readouts on seismometers.
The space shuttle would come back into Edwards Air Force Base and it flew over LA, it would trigger a sonic boom. And in fact, quite a few people would think that the sonic boom was...
They're just gliders though, remember?
An earthquake. It was a pretty big sonic boom. But we also had a great study where we not only could record the sonic boom itself hitting the different stations, but we actually saw the sonic boom hitting the high rises of downtown Los Angeles, which made them vibrate, which caused waves to get generated in the soil underneath downtown. And then those seismic waves traveled from downtown up here to Pasadena, and we recorded them as a precursor to the shuttle. So there's...
All right, I know I started with the flooding, but I wanted to end on it and jump around because we're expected to have more rain over here around Michigan and Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, my area. So photos show Michigan's UP devastation after flash flooding emergency. Look at this shit. Really?
Topping tonight's 10 at 10 rising waters wreaking havoc on the northern parts of Minnesota and Wisconsin. A small Wisconsin dam, in fact, giving way, overwhelming nearby rivers, making many roads and bridges impassable tonight. Floodwaters a growing concern as authorities urge residents to seek higher ground and take steps to protect themselves and their property. Fox 9's Christina Palladino has the latest from Danbury, Wisconsin.
Just getting word that the Wisconsin Highway 35 bridge is now closed. This as voluntary evacuations are underway near Danbury, Wisconsin. But as the water levels continue to rise very rapidly here, those orders could soon become mandatory to help save lives. Unbelievable aerials from the sky and on the ground of water rushing from the Tamarack River over roads and bridges along the border of Minnesota Minnesota and Wisconsin. People trying to make their way from cabin country in Wisconsin back to the metro getting stuck at multiple road closures.
No, this is the most water we've seen.
Bob and Barb Hedstrom are making their way back to Shakopee from their cabin near Gordon, Wisconsin. They normally drive across the St. Croix River here and into Pine County, Minnesota to get home, but not tonight.
This is the first time we've ever seen it breach here, so it's something.
After northern Wisconsin saw close to 10 inches of rain in about 72 hours, the Radigan Flowage Dam on the Tamarack River just couldn't take all the water and collapsed. That's caused water to spill over local highways and bridges, endangering communities and lives. MnDOT crews were inspecting the bridge that leads from Hinckley to Danbury over the St. Croix River this evening. The bridge supervisor is concerned about the structure.
What we're going to do is we're going to drill some holes in the deck to try to let the air escape. As the water rises, it's going to trap air in between our bridge beams. And so we're going to drill some core holes and let the air escape so the structure doesn't move.
And those crews will be on that bridge inspecting it closely through the night, but they'll have to take safety precautions as well as those water levels rise very fast.
All right, as you see here, yet again, Michigan governor declares state of disaster for 2 counties after flash floods. See, this stuff is intense, guys. We are getting flooded out here in my general vicinity. All right, so here we go. Look at the Taco Bell sign. Like, look at all that. The parking lot just gone. Like, it just broke away. June 17th. Now look at that. That is gnarly. Like, the ground is gone. The sign is gone. Everything has fallen. See what I'm saying? Like, this is intense, guys. We are having some crazy shit take place. Alright, so this is the flooding in and around Michigan. These 2 counties where the state of emergency is. Hopefully this will function properly and I won't have too many issues trying to load photos. It might be a slow process, but we'll see. I mean, look at that road. Look at that. If you can clear, I mean, it's kind of hard to see because it's so small, but I know there's a close-up because I've seen a close-up of this photo. This road looks like the lunar surface. Looks like something NASA would give us and say it was Mars. It's quite unbelievable. I mean it. Craterous, unbelievably just destroyed. Look at that. Mud everywhere. Absolute crazy flooding. See, this is, you know, it's like they go through trends. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say this. I haven't heard anybody say this. 2017, what was the major thing we dealt with? Forest fires, wildfires, 200 of them starting at one time in California in 200 locations. Then they can join. And then we also dealt with major hurricanes, and a lot of them. This year, it seems that we are dealing with nothing but lightning and rain and thunderstorms and tornadoes, like natural storms over the Midwest, is what it seems like we're dealing with in the 2018 year, and dust storms and drought. See, I always say it's one extreme or the other when they start geoengineering and messing with the climate. Because when they're trying to do this, the side effects is the other extreme. So they're trying to precipitate rain. They cause a drought with their... They try to precipitate rain and they cause a drought with their geoengineering and their ionospheric heaters. It's a fact, okay? So it's one extreme or the other. So when they're trying to cause storms, they cause drought. When they're trying to cause drought, they cause storms. When they're trying to cause hurricanes, they cause massive hurricanes. You know, there's multiple things that they do here. Now look at that. That is absolutely absurd. This is just absolute damage, like absolute flood damage. Like, there's the road in the back right, if you saw it before it switched. Like, look at this. Everything has just been ripped apart, and it goes to show you just how much it goes to show you how much like human human inventions and human stuff doesn't stand a chance against nature. Look at that. It literally just cut through that side of the road like it was a hot butter knife in butter or something. Like, look, you know, it just cut, the water just eats right through the ground, just rips it apart. You guys by now have seen the bridge, hopefully, of the video of mine earlier. The bridge at the bottom of the hill where I live is falling in the water. It's a sinkhole. It's just falling in the damn water. Like that, right there. It's exactly, you know, mine's not that bad, but it's falling in like that. You see what I mean? It's just absolute destruction all over the place. I mean, clearly, those were lines, electric lines, or some sort of line that was underground. And now it's not, because look, the ground is gone. See what I mean? It just folds asphalt like it's paper. Just folds it. That blows my mind. Because, you know, I pour concrete. Like, I lay concrete. I've poured concrete. And I've also messed with asphalt. And the stuff seems just so solid when you do it yourself. You know what I mean? And then you watch water come through and it just rips it to shreds. It's unbelievable to me. Like I said, because I've done it, so you know what I mean? I know the durability of it. I hope you guys are able to stick around and watch this whole video. If so, be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you have not, hit that bell if you have not, leave a comment. Let me know what you think of all the flooding. Let me know what you think of my little hypothesis, basically, you know. Saying like last year was their hurricane and wildfire year. This year is their lightning strike and hailstorm and thunderstorm year. You see what I mean? And I think they're going to mix the hurricanes in with it. And I think it's going to be just absolute devastation all the way across. You know, I think that we already have the forest fires, the wildfires taking place in Wyoming, Colorado, and they're spreading. We have wildfires in California. They took the ad down. I've showed it. We have wildfires in Montana. We also have the flooding that's happening everywhere. Flooding was an issue in Colorado and Wyoming, where the fires are. So wouldn't you think that the flooding would start to help put those fires out? But it just doesn't seem to be the case. So keep your eyes on all this, you know, directed energy weapons, where we use lasers to manipulate climate and the weather. It's been admitted by Michio Kaku on public mainstream media, you know. And then you see all these devastating catastrophes taking place. And when you have a mind that thinks, you know, you can't help but wonder, do they feel as if they're playing The Sims, causing their catastrophes? You know, is that what they're doing here? Like for fun? They take all this time to build up their city and then they just destroy it, you know, with a self-inflicted catastrophe. Like, look at that. It's like they're testing technology and they're just seeing what they can do. Last year, wildfires, hurricanes. This year, wildfires, thunderstorms, dust storms, droughts, floods. You know, like I said, Ellicott City, 2 floods. Both of the floods were said to be 1 in 1,000 year floods. They had 2 in under 2 years. You know, and that's northeast. Like, this is just absolute madness. All of this. The flooding, the rain, the storms, the hail, you know, the tornadoes. They're everywhere now, it seems like. And it just doesn't stop. There will be FEMA barges at every coast, it seems like, here soon. There will be kids being held in black sites and conspiracy theorists being held in black sites, I'm sure, very soon. But, you know, it's just, like, the way this is going, like, causing the catastrophes, and then declaring the states of emergency, and then coming in with FEMA barges, or coming in and saving people with mandatory evacuations and whatnot. You know what I mean? So look at that road. Like I said, like paper. It's like paper mache. It's like the water went under that and paper mache'd the street to the ground. Unbelievable. I don't know people can't even leave their damn houses. Look at that. How do you even get out of that driveway? What do you do? Unbelievable. And like I said, you guys saw my bridge right at the bottom of my hill today. That video's up right now. It's the one that came up before you'll see this. Absolutely insane. I know this video is long, so I apologize, guys. I'm sorry, but, you know, there's a lot of flooding, a lot of shit to cover. A lot of earthquakes, a lot of flooding. Just crazy shit all over the place. And we got to keep everybody up to date on it. Just the way it is. Alright, so now, fortunately, we are done with that. Alright, now, hold on one second. Alright, so officials downgrade flood warning amid dam repairs near Reno. Now, I covered this a while back and said this is just like that whole dam thing that Anthony Patch had been talking about. Now, this came out today, updated 5 hours, 40 minutes ago. Reno, Nevada, state officials are downgrading a flood warning to homes and businesses in the area south of Reno a day after saying people should be prepared to evacuate if a 155-year-old earthen dam forming Little Washoe Lake fails. Nevada Division of Water Resources spokeswoman Joanne Kittrell said Tuesday that repairs had reduced the potential for a dam failure that would send water into Steamboat Creek and Steamboat Ditch. Alright. So, the warning was actually downgraded, but I just wanted to show it because, like I said, there's been a lot of dams collapsing here recently, and it's very strange to me. You know what I mean? Why? Why are all the dams collapsing? Why is all the flooding happening? You know what I mean? All at once. All while climate change is happening. All while they admit that this is the year they start changing the climate to combat the climate change epidemic. Major flash floods, tornadoes in the Midwest. We turn now to that major flash flood across the Midwest. Severe storms causing major damage, forcing rescues like this one in Rockford, Illinois. ABC Alex Perez. There's a very latest. Good morning, Alex. I'm not going to read all that. Jeez. Okay, but yeah, you get the point. There's a lot of flooding, a lot of tornadoes, and a lot of severe hail and storms all over the place right now. Hailstorm sends American Airlines jet into plunge, described as 5 minutes of hell. Have you guys seen this picture? Just wait. So I hope it's in here. No, it's not. Okay, what the fuck is that? Alright, give me 1 second. I will show you that in a minute. So as you can see, June 12th, storms assault South Florida with lightning, funnel clouds, and hail. I just had funnel and storm shelf clouds all over here on Ohio too, so keep it in mind. Alright, so this is going to be the last little bit. Dam breaks, road crumbles after destructive flooding across Michigan, Wisconsin, and Minnesota. So there's the dam picture again. There's some more of the damages. You know, clearly the flooding is a major issue right now. This is ridiculous. I've never seen so much flooding. I've never seen so many sinkholes. I've never seen so many cracks. I've never even heard of so much taking place at one time. So then you take all that and then you add it in with the volcanoes, the sheer number of earthquakes, and then the sinkholes that I'm witnessing in my area. So throw all that together, and we have some crazy shit taking place. All right, y'all. Phil James, enjoy. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you have not, hit that bell icon if you have not. Leave a comment below. Tell me what you think they're doing. Tell me, you think that, you know, they experiment with their catastrophes? They experiment with their technology? They use the ionospheric heaters, you know, last year really hard with their hurricanes and their Doppler and whatnot, with their hurricanes and their silver iodide and whatnot. You know, this year they using something different. They using their aluminum oxide, their lithium and whatnot, their magnesium to cause forest fires, wildfires, or are they just using silver iodide again and loading the sky, seeding it like crazy to cause crazy flooding, and then using wet surface air coolers at the same time to produce more condensation? Who knows? Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think they're doing. It just seems like they go through trends. Will direct energy weapons be used again this year? Possibly. I think they already have. California has all those wildfires taking place right now. So California's been
very angry message.
Yo, what's up, y'all? Phil James coming back to you on this very, very wet and rainy Wednesday, June 20th, 2018. Yes, you see the water, the flooding is coming in my job's back door. Let's go ahead and give you a look. Not all the way yet, but it's getting there. Getting hammered. All this flooding, y'all. And here it comes. I'll keep you guys posted. Yeah, I'll keep you guys posted on this flooding. It just keeps on coming down, keeps on raining.
What you doing there, Phil? Take a little video?
Yes, sir. It's getting pretty insane. You want to?
Of the moistness?
Yeah. This is Big Op. Big Op, my fellow co-worker I've known for years and years and years. Cool guy. But no, I just wanted to show that we are definitely having flooding like the rest of the country. You have to remember Minnesota, Michigan, Wisconsin, Indiana, Illinois, Florida, and Texas, and now Elkhorn Creek in Colorado, I do believe, or Wyoming, is now issued a flood warning. We have a dam that has broken and spilling everywhere, and we also have another dam that is being stressed greatly by what you see outside right now. It's getting pretty intense. Here comes all the water. Holy shit. Yep. Alright, y'all. I'll keep you guys posted. It doesn't look like it's going to stop anytime soon, so I'll get another video for y'all soon. Alright, y'all. Phil James, and I'm out. Peace. What up, y'all? Phil James coming back to you on this Wednesday, June 20th, 2018. Super flash flooded day here in central Ohio. Well, is that a surprise? Because it shouldn't be. Because I cover it all the time. And we are being bombarded by flash floods, earthquakes, extreme tornadoes, and all types of weather right now. So what I'm doing is trying to unfog my windshield and show you guys the flash flooding that is taking place in my city, because it is intense. The streets are flooded. The storm drains cannot keep up, and you are going to witness some of the puddles right now. So keep your eyes peeled on these streets. As you can see, we have storm drains. Look, keep an eye on the curbs. Look, right here. There we go. The side of the road completely flooded. As you can tell, we have water just pouring across the street everywhere I go. There's an intersection called Liberty Road and Central. It's the intersection over there. I will actually be passing it here shortly, so I will record that also just so you can see the sheer amount of water that is pouring through my city. Look at that crosswalk right there on your right. Do you guys see that? Yep, that is hella flooded. You are looking at storm drains, completely overwhelmed, not capable of keeping up with such extreme rain so quickly. So, by showing you the flash flooding here in my area, I'm showing that I am not immune to such issues, because I have covered in a previous video that has not been uploaded yet. It will be uploaded. Look at that. Look at the water flying on the other side and this side. Wow. Yeah, that's some water, folks. Storm drains, just literally. Look at the cars in front of me. Look at the water blowing out from their sides. Watch this. Oh yeah, a lot of water, people. A lot of effing water. Look at this. See that storm drain? See the currents blowing through? This is quite intense. As you can tell, it's not like flooding, like tearing down houses, but the point is that my roads are literally covered with a solid layer of standing water, basically all over in my town right now. Every single road is covered with basically standing water. I mean, look at the storm drain as we come up on it right here. The one on the left looks more appealing. Look at all that water from these cars. And then this lawn care truck. Look at that. See what I'm saying, guys? So we are looking at flooding right now all over Michigan, Ohio, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, Texas. Where else do we have flooding? I do believe down there in Florida where all those sinkholes were, Ocala or whatever it's called, they had severe flooding. We have got a lot of flooding and hurricane shit taking place. Like I say all the time, they manipulate weather. I think they have perfected such skills, and I think that they do it in sections. Like last year, 2017 was all hurricanes. This year is hurricanes and fires last year, hurricanes last year, and storms. And we're looking at it the same way this year, it seems.